Here's one that I had never seen before. I hadn't seen any reviews of it, hadn't heard of it, hadn't seen it before until one day I was just kind of surfing online and I ran across this particular pen, and it's a Jinhao. Yeah, I'm familiar with Jinhao, so are you. I got a drawer full of them. And lately, I got to be honest with you, Jinhao has kind of stepped up their game in terms of their selection and quality. A lot of people don't want to hear that, but I'm just being honest. I've been a little more impressed with a few of the products of theirs that I've picked up here. So this particular one here, a Jinhao, a number 258. It doesn't say that anywhere here on the pen itself, but this is one I've been carrying for a while and writing. My pen pals will have seen this particular pen in use on some of their letters, some of which just went into the mail this morning as I am recording this. So a Jinhao 258. They're fairly inexpensive. I mean, I think I got a pack of 5 of them online, and they're going for anywhere between $12 and $15, $17, depending upon from whom you purchase them. I got these 5 here off from eBay, and actually there's only 4 of them here because I've already given at least one of them away. So I've got these left. And the particular seller that I bought from, these little pen sleeves, they come together connected and they separate. So for instance, you can just pull this apart like that and keep pulling, and you'll get a separate pen sleeve. I got a bunch of these little velvety pen sleeves here in my drawer that I picked up over the years, or that were sent to me with various pens. It had 5 of them, and each one of those had like tucked away in it one of these Jinhao 258s. And they came in various colors, so I'll just pull these out so you can see them. There's a lavender and white. This particular one here, like a burgundy or a coral, I guess. I don't know what to call that. And this one, 2 tones of gray. Don't know about the other 48 shades, but and this particular one had 2 different shades of a blue-green. And I don't even remember what the last one was that I gave away. But they're all plastic construction with a metal clip. They have got that hexagonal shape to them. Definitely got those facets going here on the plastic. Like I said, all plastic construction on both the cap and the barrel. And you slide it apart, and here you've got a nice little faceted section that is a see-through section. Obviously I have this one inked up with a Jinhao nib on it, a Lamy style Jinhao nib. Nothing fancy on that plastic cap, but it does have a fairly functional, I can't say it's plain because it's got these tiny, little hole designs there on that metal clip. And it is a snap cap. So let's pull this one apart so you can see what it looks like when it is clear and has not been inked up at all. You open it up. These are cartridge converter pens, and each of them did come with their own Jinhao converter. Of course, you can use a cartridge should you choose. Bottom of the barrel, nothing really fancy there, just kind of an indentation, but you can see really well here the construction of the numerous facets on that barrel. Put it back together, really simple. Cap, same way, facets on the cap. The cap is wider than the barrel, so when they do snap together, you actually do have a little bit of overlap or a lip on that. You flip it over, it does pose very nice. I mean, that's nice and secure, it's not coming off, and it's fairly deep, and it's not a real heavy pen. I'm going to give you all the statistics on these particular pens so you will know, how wide they are, how long they are, all that sort of stuff that I would normally do during a review. I'm sure that these little nibs can be swapped out. They all came in extra fine when I ordered them. Snap it back together, and there you go. It's actually fairly decent for a carry pen. It's one of those that's not real expensive. So if you were to lose this pen, if you were going to travel, you wouldn't mind if this one got broken, stolen, lost, that sort of thing. And you would actually get a pen that would be fairly reliable. That's what I've been running across with, I can't say this one, but with this one right here, because this is the only one that I have inked and played with thus far. And I did not trade out the nib on this. I left it the extra fine nib that came with it. So, Troy's little opinion of this particular pen? Well, I'll tell you what. I'll give you a few more opinions of mine here after you look at some statistics on this particular pen. We'll put nib to paper, and I'll tell you what my experience has been so far. One of my favorite pads of paper, my Clairefontaine pad. I use this a lot for letter writing. This particular pad here, I've got a couple more just like it. The only difference would be the color of the cover. I tend to pick these up at pen shows. So I know that there's a pen show this weekend I would love to have been at, but alas, not for me this week. But coming up, I got 2 or 3 pen shows that are on my docket for this year, and I hope to be able to see you at some of them. I'm definitely going to be at the Triangle Pen Show. I've already booked my room and my weekend ticket for the DC Pen Show coming up this year, and we're talking about maybe making it out to St. Louis, and so we're trying to make some plans on that as well. So, holding this particular pen, it works great for me in terms of how it fits in my hand. I like the size of it. It's very comfortable. It is not overly heavy. It's actually a fairly light pen. I could write with it unposted, and quite often I do thus far, but also I can throw that cap on there, write with it posted without any problems whatsoever. It's not back weighted in the rear end, so it's still easy to use, and it does not throw off the balance of the writer. Normally, I am not a fan of an extra fine nib, but I went ahead and left this in. I have written with a lot of XF, or extra fine nibs, over the years, and quite honestly, I've never been a fan. This is the first one, though, that I've actually liked. A Jinhao number 258 with the old extra fine nib. NIB. This particular extra fine nib is actually one of the better ones that I've written with. I will say Jinhao has stepped up their game. You know, for instance, my favorite Jinhao so far seems to be the Jinhao 80. The 258 is not bad. The 82 is not bad here recently. And those have all been decent performers. This one here is just a steel nib. It's nothing special, but it gives me a decent writing experience. It's not the absolute smoothest nib. I never expect a smooth nib when I'm writing with fine or extra fine. This one here, however, has been acceptable to me right from the get-go, and I was pleasantly surprised that the nib, the extra fine nib on it, has actually been a decent performer for me. Don't expect a whole lot of line variation, but you can get some out of it on this inexpensive steel nib. What I'm going to end up doing probably is I've actually got some Lamy style 1.1 stubs and some medium nibs, and I'm going to trade them out perhaps on some of these and see how well they perform. But here, the XF nib, I keep wanting to write MIB, so like Men in Black, but no, the NIB in XF for me on the 258 seems to be doing well for me. Kind of a surprise to me. So, what did I put into this particular pen? If you like this this ink that I'm using, this is something I've never really used before. The first time I've ever used this particular ink, and it is a Ferris wheel press Time Blue. There, that gives you a better smear of that ink. So this is a little extra fine. One of the things about extra fine nibs, if you can get one that can be a little wetter, if you can actually lay down a little more ink for it, it's going to perform for you better, in my opinion. I know people who absolutely love extra fine nibs. Me, not a big extra fine nib lover. And I had my doubts when I got this. I figured, they're fairly inexpensive. They'll be good for giveaway. You know, $2 a pen, $3 a pen, whatever. I'll get them, I'll ink them up, I'll hand them out, and they'll be giveaway pens. And when I used it, I said, you know, I'm actually pleasantly surprised. So I'll go ahead and keep at least one of them for myself. And I may, like I said, play with them, put in different nibs just because I can, and go ahead and see how well they perform for me. So there you go. Various colors, various patterns, and I found these on eBay. I know you can find them on Amazon.com, and actually I found them a little cheaper on Amazon than what I had found them for on eBay. So give it a shot and see what you think. The Jinhao 258. It's an inexpensive, decent performing pen that'll probably serve you well. It would be good for students, it'll be good for giveaway, and maybe even office use as well.